Today on the Diz List, we bring you a special guest to give you a look at Disney through the eyes of a kid.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that ranks everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to episode 71, where we bring you a special guest to give you a look at Disney through the eyes of a kid.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. My son's going to be on the second half of the show after the halftime show.
That's cool. It's something we've talked about for a while, but now we're finally getting around to. That's cool.
Yeah, and we're doing it because, unfortunately, my partner in crime here, Rob, you're feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little crunchy, and we always want to bring you the best product possible, and I wanted to at least hop on and say hello to everybody. And if you're thinking, wow, his voice sounds a little rough, but hey, I wanted to come on and just say hello to everybody. And Nick's gonna handle this episode, and I'm really honestly looking forward to it. It'll be cool listening to an episode, not being a part of it. Not that I want to do that. Don't get me wrong, but
Rob's firing himself.
No, I don't want to. I actually enjoy doing this. So,
speaking of firing ourselves, we should have fired ourselves because we got something wrong last week. Actually, it's not something we should be fired. It's not a fireable offense.
Well, I don't think we knew. I think
we didn't. This is news to us.
Well, and also to be fair, Disney changes things so often that it's really, really hard to keep up. And we try.
Mm-hmm. We do.
But we also appreciate when people let us know, because we don't want to report something that isn't true or real. And again, to dig even deeper on that, the other issue is if you're listening to an older episode, it could be something that's different now.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. So what happened was last week I had said something along the lines of the stuff you get at Boo Bash or at Mickey's Not So Scary. And I said something about premium bars and popcorn and soft drinks had been free the year that I went. And a lady reached out and she said, actually, that is no longer the case. And in fact, she said that she had just done Mickey's Not So Scary, and the only thing that was free, or free, you can use that.
You're paying to get in.
The only part that was included in the price of your ticket was the free candy at the trick or treat spots. And she said that last year during Mickey's Very Merry, that was also the case. And I was like, am I losing my mind, or did it used to be the other way? And she said, no, you are correct that at some point it was like that. So thank you, Catherine H., because let me tell you, I always love it when people reach out and say, hey, just want to let you know I listen, but we're looking, things have changed. And she said that, she knows that Disney's like that, and like they changed and want to make sure that our listeners have the most up-to-date information, because Catherine is a travel agent, so she sends some of her clients to our podcast to listen.
That is cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think that it's disappointing to me because you pay so much for this stuff, but it is what it is.
I have one last thing.
Yeah.
I'm very much enjoying the Behind the Attraction series on Disney Plus, which I texted you about the other day.
Yes.
Have you watched any of them?
I have not watched any of the new ones, no.
I think I have one more or two more.
Okay.
They are fantastic.
Okay. I'll have to do that.
I have learned, and between the two of us, we know a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of new things that I never knew that were just so cool.
Well, I think Disney history is just so cool. That's why I like Jim Hill and listening to the Disney Dish and stuff.
Love it.
So I'll have to watch those. I'm glad that you told me that there's some good stuff in there.
And it also makes me want to go back and rewatch the first ones for the third time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So we're going to go off to the halftime show. But before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been following along on Instagram. You've been giving us some great data when I've been posting those questions. We're going to be working on those episodes coming soon. And also, thank you to those of you who are following along on Patreon, www.patreon.com/DizListPod, especially our newest patron who's going to bring us our halftime show, Paul B. So thank you very much, Paul B.
Cool. Thanks, Paul.
Welcome back. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, my son, Cooper. He's going to be telling us all about Disney through the eyes of a kid. Welcome to the show, Coop.
Hello.
I'm really excited for this show. I know Mr. A and I had talked about doing this, and we were pretty excited for it. So Rob said, hey, why don't we do this? Because I'm feeling under the weather. And I also think it'd be fun for the listeners to kind of get a treat of the kids. So we're going to do a kids show. And hopefully if this turns out well, we'll make it a series. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So my first question for you is, what do you love about Disney?
Well, it's not just for one age. I feel like anyone can go and have fun.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And like, how old? You remember how old you were when you went your first time?
Maybe 9.
Yeah, you were. That's how old you were. When you went, actually, no, you were younger than that.
8.
Yeah. So when you went the first time, what was your favorite thing that you got to do?
Just being there.
Just being there?
Never really been in a 24/7 hot just place. It's.
So you like the weather?
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So you like the warm weather. You don't like the cold weather of the Northeast?
Nope.
Yeah, well, I guess you are not like Rob and I, because we always talk about how we can't stand how hot it gets down there. So we were talking before we did this about what your favorite things to do at Disney are. And I was actually kind of shocked that the first thing you said was not something to do with rides. It was about
food.
Food. Yep. We're a foodie family. No shock that for people who've been listening that we are a foodie family, and you are a pretty adventurous eater.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on what the food is.
Yeah,
There
that's true.
there are a few foods that I'm like, okay, there's no chance I'm doing that.
Yeah. You have the perspective of both a foodie and a kid. You know, you love your chicken fingers, but you also like your filet mignon. So, what would you say to someone about to take their kid to Disney about food?
Don't let them get something you can get at like a McDonald's or something like that. You're at Disney. You came here to spend money and do it. Spend money. The more expensive it is, the better it will probably be.
Wow. I don't know if our listeners want to listen to that, want to take that advice, but maybe. I think that you can also eat on a budget at Disney, though. What's your favorite quick service place that we've dined at?
Probably Pecos Bills.
Pecos Bills, because you
Yeah.
like tacos, you like Mexican stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the stuff over in Epcot at the in the Mexico Pavilion. I know you like those too.
I wouldn't really count that as quick service though, because it's part quick service and sit down.
Oh, and what do you mean by that? Where do we usually sit?
Usually inside where the birds aren't trying to attack us.
Yeah. So, little known fact is that when you go over to the Mexico Pavilion, outside there, if you go to your quick service window, you don't have to sit outside. You can actually go inside and sit inside the table service restaurant that's not open during lunch, and that's what Coop's talking about right now. So let's shift gears a little bit. What activities that we've done at Disney are things that you are maybe not glad, but that you liked the most?
I like the animation experience at Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yeah.
Even though it took 5 minutes for the train and all that, but it was worth the wait, definitely.
Yeah, worth the wait.
Yeah.
How about the tour we did with the rhinos? What did you think of that?
That was, I think, better than the animation experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really liked Living with the Land when we did the Behind the Seeds tour too.
Yeah. It would have been better if it wasn't a torrential rainstorm outside,
Yeah.
and we could actually.
It was hard to hear.
It would have been better if it was just serene and only the person talking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's not the case though. It was pretty.
No.
It was pretty loud in there.
I did not want to be outside.
No, and the thunder and lightning was pretty loud that day.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah. So going back to our first trip, we stayed at the Polynesian, and we had Lakeview. So we had a theme park view.
Yeah.
We could watch the fireworks. Okay. And I know that you aren't a fan, like I am, of the electrical water pageant, but you are a fan of the fireworks view. So what show do you think is like a must do? Do you think that you should do Epcot? If you only can pick one, Epcot, Fantasmic, or Magic Kingdom.
Magic
fireworks.
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom
They all,
fireworks.
there's no competition. Magic Kingdom is just that's the iconic, like, it's just something that you can picture in your brain,
Yeah.
even if you haven't done it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. It's
Yeah.
not an option.
Mm-hmm. And we got to do something really cool. At least one of my favorite experiences was when we rode for our last time on Splash.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, our last time on Splash, we got to ride it and see the fireworks. We timed it just right. So Rob and his family, and then we got on a boat, on a log. Actually, it was the same log, and we rode through. It was our last time on Splash as Splash, but I'm excited for Tiana's.
Yeah,
obviously.
I definitely think it'll be better. It's a good update, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Some rides, they're just itching for something to be done.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, we'll do something to this other ride that is perfect just the way it is.
yeah. Like there's lots of examples of that in Disney, huh?
Yeah.
So as a kid, right, you have a different experience with Disney than say I do, because as an adult, I enjoy certain things that are different than a kid does. So as far as kid-friendly rides, so I'm thinking rides that aren't like Tower of Terror or even Rock and Roller Coaster, which I know you've ridden both of those, but as a kid, what would you say are the best rides to take, like maybe somebody who's never been in an amusement park and never been on those rides before?
Probably Small World.
Small World?
Because that's just, I hate it because the song gets stuck in your head and it's a earworm. It's not fun. But
right.
It's just a good way to relax, and it's a good use of 5 minutes of your life.
Yeah. What do you what's another, can you give me some other ones that you really enjoy doing? It doesn't have to be at Magic Kingdom, be anywhere.
Oof. I feel like any of the spinner rides like Dumbo or Aladdin, that's good for a kid.
Yeah.
Because you could count it as a thrill ride just because you're up in the air and you have wind
for
in
little
your...
kids, that'd be a thrill ride. Yeah. For
yeah,
some
like
little kids.
5 or 6 year olds.
Yeah.
Maybe Kali River Rapids. I feel like
Kali River Rapids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like kids like water.
Yeah, that's true. Now when we go, we've already talked about food. And you've said many times like Topolino's is by far your favorite meal you've ever had. And you enjoy the finer things as you alluded to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to snacks, what's your favorite Disney World snack?
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip?
Dole Whip. If you were saying something that you can just get in the parks, Aloha Isle. But if it's not Dole Whip, it's churros.
Yeah.
They're both just sweet treats that you can munch on.
Yeah. And what about popcorn? I know that's not a sweet treat, but I know you like popcorn.
Popcorn, I feel like that's kind of the OG of all the Disney snacks. It's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And it never gets old.
Never gets old?
No.
You like your popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when we go, we stay on property. We're DVC owners, right?
Yeah.
And when we go, we try to go to different places. Like we've been to Poly a couple times. We went to Beach Club. This summer we're going to be doing Animal Kingdom. We just did Bay Lake. When you are thinking about your experience in a hotel, what is more important, the location or like the comfort in the room, like as far as having an extra bed to sleep in? Or
comfort, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have a bad view, like of the basketball courts or a parking lot or something, but then you could have like a deluxe, like 2-story bedroom, something like that.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean, because they do have those 2-story rooms over at a couple of different
Poly, I know.
Poly doesn't have not the 2-story ones.
Really?
But they might be coming in the new tower. We're hoping, right?
Oh yeah.
Forgot
about that.
But over at Animal Kingdom, they've got the 2-story ones, and over at Bay Lake, they've got some big giant ones too.
Yeah.
And we're not staying in those. We don't have that kind of point budget.
No.
Maybe the bungalow someday. That'd be something.
When you're
else.
retired and you have money to spend.
Yeah, maybe. So when we went the very first time, I want to know what your memories are from that trip. Like what what did you feel like? What were the memories that stick out in your mind from that first trip? You were 7, I think. Now that I think about it, go ahead.
Probably meeting all the characters for the first time. We had these little autograph books, and we would carry around a bunch of colors of Sharpies, and we would have each of the characters that we haven't seen yet sign it. And we have like 50 or something autographs in the book now.
Yeah, it was great because I can remember going and thinking that you were not going to want to like do the autograph thing or do the like meeting characters thing, and you ended up being great because you were a good buffer between your sister and the characters, because I know that obviously the characters can be intimidating for a little kid.
Yeah.
And she got intimidated a few times, but we learned it was just because she was hungry.
Yeah. Always carry a granola bar. In times of need.
Yes. So that actually brings me to the next thing I wanted to ask you. So we know I've mentioned on this show before lists of things that you should carry with you. I was wondering if you have a particular item that you think as a kid should always be in your park bag.
Sunscreen, definitely, because kids not as tolerant to pain and the scratchiness.
Yeah, like it could ruin your whole trip if your little one gets sunburned.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been good. You haven't gotten sunburn on those trips yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Jeez.
Yeah.
He just can't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get, the first time we're down there. Now you're gonna get burned right next time.
Jeez.
So what things when we went that first time, besides the characters, stick out in your mind as being the most memorable?
Maybe just, I know I said I like food the most at Disney, and I think it's just knowing how high the food bar is set at Disney, because the first trip I was amazed on how these people were doing this. Like, how can someone make something so good? It's just amazing.
Yeah. And do you remember the first time you saw the weenies? Do you know what I mean by the weenies?
Weenies.
Have you heard us talk about the
No.
weenies on the show before?
No.
So the weenies are in like Magic Kingdom, it's the castle, and in Epcot, it's the Spaceship Earth.
Oh,
the weenies are the
it's like
things
the
that
trademarks.
the trademarks that draw you in. So do you remember what it was like to see those the first time?
Magical, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like the phrase "happiest place on earth" comes into mind.
Yeah. And I can remember, we did it. We thought it was gonna be our one and only trip.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Mr. Ray told you.
Yeah. Rob was like, nope, not gonna do it again. Or Rob was like, you're gonna do it again, and I was like, nope, this is it. And lo and behold, now we own DVC and we go every year.
Yeah.
If you were to tell parents that this is the one thing you have to do with your kids when you go, what would it be?
At least one sit down.
At least one sit down meal?
Yeah.
Man,
if
you keep going back to the food.
Oh, you shush, okay?
All right.
The food is good.
Okay. All right. You don't have, what about rides? What ride is a must do with your kid?
Well, obviously it depends on age.
Okay.
But if you were to do one of the more adventurous ones, I would say Everest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can remember when you did Everest, you were so proud of yourself that you conquered that.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Tron or Guardians?
Guardians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tron is too short. If it was just more of that inside part, then it would be awesome. Maybe tied with Guardians, but Guardians is just longer. It's smoother.
Yeah, I agree. You can get a little bit dizzy on it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some people, if you're sitting in the middle.
Yeah. Not in the middle. You want to be in the middle. You don't want to be on the ends.
Oh.
The ends are the ones that
Okay.
make you.
Don't listen to me, people.
Yeah. The ends are the ones that get a little whippy and have some issues with motion sickness. So you don't want to stay away from the end. If you go online, you can find a ton of a ton of different things about where to sit on them. It's kind of like the secret of you want to sit in the back of Big Thunder because you're going to get whipped around a lot more. With Tron, I feel like sitting up front is really cool. I think it's either up front or all the way in the back. I don't think that
because up front it's like you're the only one. No one else is behind you.
Yeah. And we got to ride with, it was us and just a couple other people because we got boarding group won that one
Oh
day.
yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. When we go, we usually go to Disney Springs. Now, when we go to Disney Springs, there's lots of stuff to see. What are some of your favorite stores, or what is your favorite store in Disney Springs?
One of them definitely the Pele store.
Oh yeah, the soccer one. Yeah.
I want to go to Gideon's, but the line has been like an hour and a half every single time we go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to get one of the cookies because they look amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you. What other
X food.
stores?
The M&M store.
Yeah.
That's I can't believe how many like colors and
Yeah.
flavors. It's gotten to be too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Lego store? There.
Lego store. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Lego store's
Yeah.
pretty cool, right?
In the Ghirardelli store.
The Ghirardelli
with the
store is right
chocolates.
there. Yep. You're hungry, huh?
I haven't had dinner yet.
Okay. How about the World of Disney in there? Do you like you like going in the World of Disney, right?
Yeah,
With
there's
Disney's?
definitely a variety of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's at the size level where it's not just a small little, like something you could find on a main street.
Is there something that you every year when you go you look to buy with your souvenir budget
Pins.
pins?
Absolutely.
And do you think that people should consider getting into pin collecting?
If you're worried about money, no. Because some of the pins can be expensive and it racks up if you get too many.
Well, that's true, but you can do what we like to do is buy like packs of a bunch of them, and then we do the pin trading. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So collecting
discounted.
pins, you buy them, you can buy them on discount, and then you trade them for the stuff you want. You like pin trading, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think is the fun part about pin trading?
The collection. Gotta catch 'em all.
Okay, yeah, the Pokemon
Yeah.
style,
Yeah.
And do you have any advice for people who would want to get into pin trading?
Don't be afraid to let ones go because there's always going to be one on that trip where you're like, oh, I should have gotten that. Why? I didn't even notice that was there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Don't hold on to ones that you think, maybe I'll like this one a little bit more, and I don't want to, because you never know when
Yeah.
you're going to see it again. Because sometimes you don't. And that's true of even souvenirs in stores. Going and buying them in stores, sometimes you think that you are going to see something again, and you don't see it again, and that can be a problem.
yeah.
So you've obviously mentioned a bunch about food, and you've mentioned a bunch about some souvenir stuff, and we've talked about where you like to stay. Okay, but I guess my next question would be shows. What shows do you think are appealing to kids, and which ones maybe aren't appealing to kids?
Tiki Room, I think lots of kids will like. The Indiana Jones show, no, don't bring your kids there because it's a lot of fire and oh no, the guy's gonna get crushed by a giant boulder.
So you actually didn't like that? You didn't like the show?
The Indiana Jones show?
Yeah.
No. I'm not one for stunts.
Okay, so you didn't really like the stunt show?
No.
That's fine. That's understandable. I get it. What's your, if you were to pick though, what's your favorite show?
Favorite show? Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that one.
It's a classic.
It is a classic, yeah. I'm a Tiki Room guy. You know that.
Yeah.
Rob is a Country Bears Jamboree guy.
Clapping his hands.
What's up?
Claps his hands and sings along.
Yep. Stomps his feet, claps his hands, right? I think that Disney does a good job with those because it gets you out of the heat. I know there's another show you really like, and I think it's funny because I think most listeners would be shocked that a kid your age loves this, but there's another show in Liberty Square.
Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, most 12-year-olds will veer away from that as much as they can, but I love it.
Yeah. Cooper loves that one. And I remember one time we went and it was closed because we had a transition. And so we had a new president and it wasn't open yet. And then when we got there, like our second or third day, it had reopened.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were able to go in and take a look and be able to listen to that. And it was great. It was a good time.
I think it was Joe Biden, right?
Yep, you're right. And then I know that that you aren't the biggest fan of Haunted Mansion, but
No, not really.
but I'm wondering what what you think about dark rides for kids.
Dark rides.
Yeah.
Some of them, I feel like kids can be scared of them because you're in the dark and oh no, a monster's gonna pop out.
Right.
But some of them, they're just like Small World. They have all the little animatronics and they're distracted by that.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do on Small World?
The broken animatronics. And every time I get over 10, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Just fix them. Like, how many of them can be broken?
But then you wouldn't have anything to do on that ride.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that we've been talking a lot about Magic Kingdom, but there's 3 other parks. And I also know that Magic Kingdom is not even your favorite park, is it?
Nope, Epcot.
And so what would you say to people who think that, like, if you have kids, you can skip Epcot?
Don't. There's a lot of good rides for kids that are just slow, like Living with the Land, Soarin', they might love or hate. I don't know.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, I like it, but if you're afraid of heights, it's not a good one to do.
Right.
Definitely.
What about, of course, Frozen and Remy?
Oh, yes. Frozen and Remy.
Mhm.
Those are 2 big kids, people,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. What's your favorite country?
Country. Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah, the Mexico Pavilion is pretty cool, especially because it's inside. So I feel like that's always a nice thing.
Yeah, a lot of inside attractions from Mexico.
Yeah,
There's not
'cause
a
you-
lot of shops, so you're not.
So you're walking through, yeah, because you get to walk through, and then you can go and do Tres Caballeros, and
Yeah.
do that. We've done a lot of days at Epcot, and we've done Food and Wine now twice.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite thing you've eaten at Food and Wine, since you keep talking about food?
Well, this trip we definitely had more food and wine. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a spicy noodle bowl or something like
Yeah.
that from Japan, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it
It was
wasn't.
Dan noodles.
That's what it's called. Yes, Dan noodles. And
Yeah.
they weren't too spicy, but they still had that little remnants of a kick.
Yeah, and you like spicy food, so for you to think that there was some spice to it, there was a lot of spicy stuff this year that was legit spicy, not just
Yeah.
Disney spicy. Making our way over to Hollywood Studios. I know it's my least favorite park, but that doesn't mean it's a bad park. It just means my least favorite. Is it your least favorite too, or no?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom, I feel like there's just less stuff to do, so therefore you can just spend some of the day just looking at animals, and you
Yeah.
don't have to pack so much in.
Yeah, yeah. With Hollywood Studios, what do you think is like a must do for? Because Hollywood Studios is getting to that point where the people who are going to Hollywood Studios or the demographic, I guess I should say, is a little bit older, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the Fantasyland stuff. It's not the stuff you get like by going on, those like the Small World type attractions. It's aimed more at kids who maybe are just on the cusp of wanting to go to Universal with those more thrill rides.
Yeah,
What
with
do
Harry
you-
Potter and
Yeah. So what do you think is like one of the best? What do you think the must dos are at Hollywood Studios?
Star Wars Land.
Star Wars, so Galaxy's Edge. Okay.
Galaxy's Edge, yeah. But the land that is set in, it's not in any of the movies,
Right.
but it still looks like it could be.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty immersive.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you've got the shops and you've got the food. I think that's probably the best theming of any land that Disney has in Orlando.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know people love Toy Story Land, but I'm like, they're just giant Christmas lights. It is what it is. But it's kind of cool. Between Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, and Toy Story Land, which one do you think you like Star Wars better? Which one do you think has better rides though?
Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
I know Rise is in Galaxy's Edge, but it breaks down so darn much.
Yeah.
And it's like you can never ride it.
Yeah.
Or at least you can't ride the whole thing as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because animatronic is breaking down, or
Yeah.
it's just, and Smuggler's Run, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Like you can't. It's not very.
It's a hard video game style kind of simulation. Yeah, I'm with you. I get it. The biggest hack we found ever, I think, in Hollywood Studios is over at Baseline Tap House.
Oh my god!
You want to tell everybody what your favorite hack is over there?
The strawberry hibiscus soda, and it's not over bubbly like a lot of the carbonated drinks you'll find at Walmart or something like that. You can definitely taste some strawberry, but I don't know why they threw hibiscus in. I can never really taste floral stuff in
the floral
food.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a really good refresher.
Why is it cool that it's that you can have it? What do you get? Something that Disney never does. Starts with an F.
Food? I don't know. I keep going back to food.
Yeah, it's free, right?
The
refills
yeah, the
are,
refills.
Refills are free.
That.
So it's a specialty drink, and the refills are free.
Yeah.
You just have to bring back the same cup, and it's free. So that's kind of cool. I personally think that it is a must do. Right? It is a must stop. Is Baseline Tap House, and I think for kids that's a great treat. That little soda, I know, and it's not sickly sweet. It's not super sweet either. That's kind of cool. We did Fantasmic, your first trip. Do you remember it?
All of the things in Fantasmic were super fun. I like the boat with all the characters on it.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Steamboat Willie. Yeah. We haven't done that again. We should maybe do that. We're gonna go with my brother this summer, and his wife, and so I think that Cooper might be able to bring his aunt and uncle there. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. That'd be fun. And I know that like Hollywood Studios, Rob and I kind of like hate on it a lot.
Yeah.
But
all the heat.
Yeah, the heat, because it's all it's a concrete jungle in there. But it is still a ton of fun. Now that leaves us with Animal Kingdom. All right. And for this park, you've already kind of mentioned some stuff, but I'm going to ask a question. In your mind, what should they really do with Dinoland USA?
I think they should stick with Latin America. I think they should change some of the rides, like Indiana Jones in Latin America, because we've already got Indiana Jones in Hollywood Studios. But
okay, so you think their idea of what they're going to do is a good idea?
Yeah, just change some of the rides and do something else with dinosaur.
Okay, cool. I don't disagree necessarily. You and I have had a lot of fun on Everest. We've had a lot of fun on the safari. Yeah. We've done a lot of cool things at Animal Kingdom. We did the Rhino tour. Our family did,
animation
right?
Experience.
The animation experience is fun. But the trails you mentioned are something that you feel is actually a benefit, and that Animal Kingdom doesn't have a lot of rides. So even though it doesn't have a lot of rides, you feel like that's a benefit to it because you get to do the trails and look at the animals, right?
Yeah, a lot of times for parents, if you have kids, your kids just want to stay one more minute to see the gorillas come out or something like that. But with Animal Kingdom, there's not a lot to do, and so then you can just spend more time at each station.
Right. Now, I like Animal Kingdom. I like that there's not a ton of rides to do.
Yeah. I
like that you can do more people watching. Like I love sitting over at the Dawa bar where they do the Tam Tam drummers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And watching that and dancing along and having fun like that.
Yeah. I'm not too much into the dancing.
No. Your sister was dancing with me last time. The character meal there, Tusker House. I know that you like it because it's a buffet and you can kind of pick and choose what kind of experimental stuff you want to eat.
Yeah.
And the characters there are great. But overall, what would you say the best for kids, best character meal you've done? Now, we've done a lot. We've done almost all of them.
Yeah.
So I'll let you think about that. I know that I'll run down some of the ones we've done. We've done Tusker House. We've done Garden Grill. We did Cinderella's Royal Table that first time.
It would have to be Royal Table, definitely, because it has a bunch of the princesses, and if you have younger kids, then they're definitely still at that age where they're like dressing up as Cinderella for Halloween.
Okay. And I would say that I don't disagree with you, except for maybe Topolino's breakfast was up there too, because it has the Fab Five, and the food was good. The food was just as good at Cinderella's Royal Table too, though.
Yeah.
And a very unique dining experience was the one that we did over at Wilderness Lodge, Storybook Dining. That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is if you have kids that are not necessarily picky, but like know their boundaries with food, they just bring out little platters, and you don't really get to choose what you eat. So if there's nothing that your kids want to eat on that platter, there's kind of nothing for them to do.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about at Storybook Dining.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to check the menu first, and they're usually good if you say, nobody in our group likes the mushroom stuff. So
the mushroom soup.
Yep. So maybe they double up with something else instead. That I think they're pretty good at that, and they listen to those things. They're just like the dietary restrictions.
Other than that, it's a beautiful ambiance, and
yeah.
The kids, if they're there, you get to whip your own little cup of honey butter.
Yeah.
And you can spread it on toast, I think it is.
Yeah, their bread service. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're a sucker for a good bread service.
Oh, yes, I am.
That or charcuterie boards.
Can't wait to go to the Animal Kingdom place. Which
Sanaa.
one is it? Sanaa.
Yeah.
I always get them mixed up.
Yep. Sanaa's a good one. So we've had a fun discussion here about Disney. We've had a fun discussion about food. Obviously, you've talked about food a lot. You talked about some rides.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if there's anything that you could tell people out there about going to Disney with your kids. Why? Or why bring your kids to Disney? Or what about Disney, is magical to you? Or just what do you think people should know about Disney?
It'll change your life, definitely.
Really?
You'll either want to go again, but don't go again, and just love Disney for the rest of your life, or keep going and love it for the rest of your life. Either way. Adds up in the same place.
Yeah, yeah. And then as far as tips, do you have any tips for people who are bringing kids?
They're on some of the rides. I mean, all of the rides, but your kids might be taller than most of the requirements. There are requirements on the rides that make it so if your kid is not tall enough, you can't go on the ride. Like Rock and Roller Coaster is one of them I know because I was just able to go on that.
Yeah, you were just able to. Yep.
Yeah. Another thing, watch videos of stuff you want to do ahead of time because your kids definitely will want to know what they're getting into. Yeah.
I don't think spoilers are a bad thing when it comes to thrill rides or,
Oh, no.
Because you don't want your kid freaking out midway through Haunted Mansion, for instance.
Oh, no.
Or if your kid is not really into the whole idea of, I'm trying to think of some other ones like drop. If you're not a drop person, even for older kids or kids your age, I think it's important to know, okay, Tower of Terror, drops you. It's a long drop.
I did not like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are certainly some good pointers. And then the last thing I want to know is, what is your dream Disney day for a kid, for you?
Well, first of all, somehow the Earth or something like that, they make the days 40 hours longer. And then we can go to each park for 12 hours.
Yeah,
and we
in
can
one day.
do absolutely everything.
In one day?
Yes,
that's your dream
in one
day?
day. Yeah.
Yeah, doing it all in one day. You're a completist, and so I know that you like to do that. You like to complete sets of stuff, whether it's baseball cards or pins or whatever. You like to complete it, and so
absolutely
completing the trip all in one. We could probably leave some rides out though.
Yeah,
Astro
Tomorrowland
Orbiter.
Speedway and Astro Orbiter.
they can be kicked to the curb.
Oh, absolutely. Astro Orbiter is like a little compartment that you're stuck in.
Yeah, Mission Space too. So all I gotta say is I've had a blast. I'm really excited that you got to do this with me. I hope the listeners enjoyed. Again, this is something that Rob and I were like, we'll see how it goes. See if people like it. If you do like it, reach out and let us know on Instagram. You can follow us at DizlessPod. If you're looking for early access to new episodes or bonus episodes, you can go over to patreon.com/dislesspod and check that out. I really appreciate that you guys are listening to this today. I know that Rob was upset that he was unable to be here to record with us because I think he would have enjoyed just kind of quizzing Coop about stuff that he enjoys with Disney. So I'm just gonna say one more time, really thank you to my son for coming on and doing his best and filling in for Rob when Rob's not feeling great. And I hope Rob feels better. He'll be back next week here.
It was a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad that you came. And here we go. You ready for the sending?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.